Okay, do I still remember how to hold a GameCube controller? The answer is probably no, but we're going for it anyway. Now, as always, we start with the charge beam and the space jump. I almost said super jump for some reason. That's not what it's called. Because that way we don't have to find those. Because they are kind of pains in the ass. Also, yes, once again, our item models are masked, so I can't see what they are. And we can't go to Artifact Temple yet because we did not find an early missile launcher. Instead, we found an early energy tank, which is not really a progress item, but it does mean that, in theory, I won't die so easily. Not that it's easy to die in Metroid Prime 1. Outside of a very few situations, because the final boss still... And by final boss in this case, I mean Meta Ridley. I mean, the final boss still sucks in its own right, but we don't fight that thing. Because it would make for a very boring end of a randomizer. Granted, I mean, how interesting really is Meta Ridley either? I just sort of speedball into his shin, and then I fucking wave buster him for like 2 minutes or something. That's not necessarily the easiest. I gotta, like, look at a speed run at some point and learn how people actually deal with Meta Ridley in the speed run. If there's a way to, like, properly manipulate that boss fight or something. Because surely there's something. Anyway, we're out here going to Hive Mecha again. I really should just see if there's a way to have that fight specifically defeated early, because otherwise it's just kind of a time sink. Like, at least the other ones are actual fights. Meanwhile, Hive Mecha is just like, hey, sit there and press A a bunch. There's not much thought that goes into it. At least with others, you can strategize a little bit or something. Some kind of Doctor Who joke. What? Every time I've been passing through the other room recently, my mom has been watching old Doctor Who serials. Tom Baker era, because unsurprisingly, most Americans have the most nostalgia for the Tom Baker era because, hey, that's when we started getting the show. So yeah, that's been fun. I actually really like a lot of the old Doctor Who. I'm not really as taken with any of the more recent stuff. Not as much, well, some of it is less bad than the rest, but then there's others that are just like, you know, Stephen Moffat is kind of a hack. And I think that a lot of... I feel like it wasn't quite as obvious until he did the one episode with the Weeping Angels where you got to see them move. It's like, hey, you actually had a decent idea with why you were doing your budget management, they don't move thing. You had a good idea there and you ruined it. Anyway, that's enough of that. I am not sure when the last time I watched any Doctor Who was. I have a lot of, well, I have a decent amount of Doctor Who on VHS. From eons ago. And I say that like there were new Doctor Who VHS tapes at any point. They're genuinely... I think it's quite sad that we've had sort of a push toward this idea of, you know, there's been some VHS nostalgia, and we haven't really seen a whole lot of things get released on VHS tape. We've had plenty of things that have shown up on cassette, although I think that the overall quality of cassette that's available now is not as good as stock from way back when. And I'm not just talking about blank tapes, because obviously nowadays you can't get like Type 4 tapes or anything like that, but outside of new old stock, which of course is worth a fortune. But yeah. I think it would just generally be a lot of fun to have a lot of that stuff on VHS, because I also just generally enjoy having stuff on VHS. Recently I was thinking about picking up a copy of the movie War Games on VHS, because I feel like there's just some things that are like, okay, this is definitely got to be on, you know. It fits with the overall time period of when War Games came out, right? It's an extremely 80s proposition in and of itself. Not that it's irrelevant nowadays, obviously, but, you know, it's very much otherwise a 1980s movie, so it's like, I've got to have that on VHS. And some other shit that's a little older, like, I have Moonraker on VHS because I think that's funny. But yeah, I would... There's a lot of that stuff that I'd love to just have on tape for reasons of, well, what I've already been over. Oh yeah, I should have, starting sometime next week, I should have the Xbox controller that I ordered. I mentioned that one yesterday. I also ordered a couple of extra batteries for it because... Yeah, it's probably not much of a surprise, but ordering one of those on eBay, you're not getting the battery with it. I think part of that is due to the fact that there's just regulations surrounding the shipment of lithium-ion batteries that would mean that you're really not allowed to mail that shit out as just a private citizen. I think. I am not an expert in this field, so if somebody wants to be like, actually, it's because I'm not sure. But definitely because lithium-ion batteries do have the, they have a bit of an explosion hazard, especially under certain conditions, like, you're not allowed to, oh hey, boost ball. You're not allowed to have certain capacity lithium-ion batteries on an aircraft, because if it's too big, there's that explosion hazard. Basically, it kind of comes down to, like, the alkali metals are all kind of like that. So, yeah. But moving past that, so I was able to find a set of 2 replacement batteries on Amazon for like 20 bucks. And I know that like 2-pack of generic replacement batteries, it's probably not going to be the most powerful battery anybody's ever heard of for anything like this. But on the other hand, it's like, hey, if I want a single OEM one, it's $15 for one that comes with that and a USB-C cable. I have USB-C cables. I don't need that. I was going for something a little bit more cost effective. But yes, I got hold of that. Basically what happened is just because I got a little money as a gift from a family member. I ordered those, and I also forgot that there's another boost ball item I can get here. But moreover, I ordered that mini PC that I said I was interested in. Someone on eBay, some absolute hero, posted one for like $100 that had the specifications I was looking for, which is amazing because yeah, in the amount of RAM area that I was looking for, usually like a new one is like 270 or something at bare minimum. But obviously it's secondhand, but the only real thing that I care about is like, does it function? If the hard drive is like, you know, as long as the hard drive is functional, I don't care if it's got like bad data on it or anything, because I was going to install Linux on that thing anyway. So, you know, you can have however badly busted your operating system is that you want. I will be bombing the hell out of that thing at some point. And also, I ordered a copy of Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch. I'm waiting to take it off of my throne list until I actually get the copy in, though, because like I'm over here looking at the computer like, okay, yeah, $100, 110 after shipping. That's totally legit. Prime 4 for 55 after shipping and tax? That might be a scam. For, again, to point out, factory sealed Prime 4. And I'm sure that it'll probably be okay, especially because Prime 4 seems to be suffering from pretty serious Duke Nukem Forever syndrome, so it's probably not worth nearly as much as I feel like it is, just because of that canceling out the Nintendo tax. Because, yeah, if you've read, like, any sort of website where it's people's opinions on the game, people are very displeased in a variety of ways with Prime 4. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to go this way until well, no, I wouldn't be able to get that item without the gravity suit anyway, so screw it. I was like, I'm going to wait until I go kill Flogra, but I don't need to. It doesn't actually affect whether or not I'm going to be able to get that underwater item. Unless I stumble into the gravity suit, in which case, well. Yeah. So, yeah, Prime 4, I admit that once it was revealed that it was a little bit open world, I was kind of not super into Prime 4. After that point, I was like, I'm so sick of the fucking open world shit, man. And I am genuinely really sick of the open world stuff. I'm sure Sonic Frontiers, for example, is a good game, but every time I think about powering it on, I just get unspeakably weary because, you know, the way that they've done the overworld. Not that there haven't been open world sort of segments in in Sonic games before. I mean, literally Sonic Adventure 1 uses that, and really so does Sonic 06, but I find that those move at like a decent speed. Oh, geez. So, yeah, on the other hand, a big part of why I bought Prime 4, research purposes. I'm working on a video about Metroid Prime 4. In particular, people talking about dialogue in that game. So I'm like, actually, I kind of need a copy now, don't I? So, yes. Oh, speaking of big yes there, we got ourselves the super missile. That is tremendous. Delirium tremendous. That's a bit of a stretch. Because we didn't have to almost drown for it. Anyway. Another energy tank. That's nice. It recovers our, like, 40 missing HP we had or so. It's probably a little less important for the moment, because it's not like this is Prime 2 where everything does thousands of damage to you on impact. And you might be saying, you've never had more than 1,500 energy in a, and that's not even true. There's the possibility of going up to 2,099 in Metroid Fusion. So anyway, we have bombs, so we can escape from Incinerator Drone. So guess where I'm going? That's right. Somehow I'm not going over the cliff, even though I... Whoa! That was some momentum. Yeah, I admit, I was holding the stick forward. I'm not sure why, but it might have been just sort of a reflexive thing. But that kicked in way faster than I thought it would. Oh, hell yes. Plasma beam. Nice early plasma beam. The game is just handing me things on a silver platter right now. Like, this is crazy. I've been going for 20 minutes and I have plasma beam. Are you... Are you okay, randomizer? It's alright. It's going to give me the biz later on, I'm sure. I'm going to have a very bad time sooner rather than later. Oh, it kicked me out of ball for that. That's funny. Okay, yeah, I have to wait a moment to even deal with that phase of Incinerator. Eh, it's just a missile pack. That's fine. I don't mind missile packs, really. Outside of like, oh, gee, I really wish I had some progress items, but... You know, provided that we're at 200 or less, or, well, I guess 195 or less, rather, and I get a missile pack, that's fine. Because 200 is kind of the magic number where... Oh, yeah, those dudes are immune to plasma beam, right. I literally haven't thought about that for a while. That's really clever, even though there's no way in a regular run you'd be able to find that out. Yeah, 200 missiles is my target, because that will let me deal with Meta Ridley without having to try, basically. Oh. Ooh, we got our first power bomb. That is... I can't do anything with that right now, I don't think. Not until I get other places. Like, for example, the first place that I can think of where there's a power bomb obstacle right now, we need the grappling beam for. Which is what it was called in Super Metroid, so I don't know why I called it the grappling beam here, but there we go. Excuse me. And while we would want the various suit for it, it wouldn't be a requirement, at least. Thinking about my path for a second here. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go and... set up to go deal with Flagra. Yeah, that's right. We got some bees here. But I can... if I make the jump better, I can actually do that. But... I'm a little bit rusty, so maybe I'm trying a technique that's a little outside my pay grade, but I managed to pull it off in 2, so... hey. We're kind of getting there. Ah, fucking bees. It's like I'm still playing banjo or something. And I really need the health. Okay, that one was just me bumping into the wire there like a fool. A piece of load-bearing steel cable, you know. Screw it, we're gonna do this the slow way, because at this point, I think I need to. I'm embarrassing myself. More than usual, I mean. This last symbol down here, isn't it? No, it might be up, actually. Yes, okay. Oops. Like I said, you can probably tell that it's been a minute since I've played this. I last played vanilla over a month ago, and Rando... was a lot longer than that, that's for sure. I'm curious how this does against Flagra, because I don't think I've seen that in a while, if ever. But I do love that a charged plasma beam completely roasts the Reaper Vines. So if for some reason you're ever going up against this boss while you have Plasma Beam, well, there you go. We'll find out now if this is actually any good, and the answer seems to be yes. However, the reflectors do not care about it, so that's a bit of a tragedy. I guess we just are going to switch to just using regular beam then. because plasma doesn't seem to help us with this fight. As I see how much my mic is getting peaked out by all my slamming those shoulder buttons. Maybe I should keep this under the desk so that way it's a little less audible. Although, mentally that almost seems like something different. Wait. Get out of here, you big old time waster. And all he's got for me is a missile. Well, that's fine. No Varia suit, though, so we're not going to Lethal Lava Land or whatever it's called. Instead, we've just got to go this way, and that's fine, ultimately. We were mostly coming this way to get the item in the vault anyway. And also just to get Flogger out of the way, because it was going to have to happen eventually. Oh, yeah, I mean, good point. Just call it the Goron Tunic, right. And then the gravity suit, of course, is the Zora tunic. What would the Phazon suit be, though? Magic armor? I don't know. Because I don't really think any of the Zelda games have had a third phase of, or third type of, reduction effect. I mean, yeah, that kind of counts too. But there isn't like a proper like tunic replacement, right? Oh, hey, Spider Ball. What an incredibly fun thing to get, and not at all meaning that I'm probably going to have to go back up and fight the ghosts. But first of all, we get ourselves an artifact. Right, yeah, which is more of a fan thing. You know, years ago, I remember saying that I wanted to mess around with Zelda Classic again, and then I never remembered to pick it up. Actually, maybe I went to the Ghost search for it, and I got kind of, like, muddled a little bit in terms of download or something. I would expect that that's one of those things that's had some issues happen to it because of Nintendo. Oh, hey. Somebody tell all these wasps to fuck off. somehow that worked. I was way off of my aim at the start, and I ended honestly about as far off. So, yeah, that was fun. This does at least also give me a reason to use the one power bomb that I have, because there is a power bomb item that is locked behind Spider Ball also, so we can get that. Yeah, I guess it's just like, I don't think there's another environment reducing thing, though, unfortunately. Granted, I guess there haven't really been that many instances where you would need it in Metroid, in Zelda, pardon me. And what's really going to actually be all that close to, like, you know, I don't think that Zelda has quite nearly so many, like, pervasively toxic things in its environment, really. In most of them, at least. Not necessarily non-existent, but certainly a bit rarer. Obviously not radioactive either, because, well, that doesn't really fit the style of the world very much. Even a lot of the ones that get, like, more technological, it's sort of Magitech or steampunk at best. So, radiation, I mean... Well, we learned earlier this week that knowledge of certain things to do with radiation is much older than we think, but there's still not really a whole lot of place for that in steampunk kind of stuff. Not even as just like a weird like thing that exists, because I mean, what steampunk piece of work is there out there where somebody's like, ooh, pitch blend? Somebody might actually have an answer for that, though. So, anyway. Hey, there's our Zora tunic. Funny that. I think that if I could ever deal with my dead air problems, I'd be really good as like a performing anything by virtue of the fact that the more you pay attention to anything I say, the less sense any of it makes. And I'm pretty sure that's the exact attribute that you look for in a performance artist of this type, right? No. Well. Yeah, I don't have any counter argument to that, actually. So, yes, Phazon Suit is specific to Metroid Prime. In fact, Phazon Suit literally is a thing that only exists in Prime 1, from what I recall. Because in every other case, the Phazon Suit broke off of Samus and became Dark Samus, which no longer exists by the time Prime 4 happens. But I mean, by Prime 4, Phazon isn't even the going concern anymore. It's like some green crystals or something. I don't know. However, I can say that that is one of those cases of a game that did sort of sew it up nicely plot-wise. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I mean, this could still be a useful thing to... We should still get the item in Furnace, but... I don't need to... The place I was thinking of is elsewhere, basically. Yeah, so I guess that'd probably work. That'll just be magic armor, if I remember that. If I remember to keep the gag going. Now, if we could just do, like, little bitty graphics patches to OOT randomizers. I'm sure that that's doable, but then I can just, like, do some palette swaps to make Nehru's Love into the Phazon suit colors. I don't know how well I'd be able to do that to the model, but that's probably fairly doable. But, like, changing the sprite, obviously, is, like, easy. In fact, it may literally just be modify a color palette, and that's that. Twilight Princess or Wind Waker version? Well, Wind Waker version was kind of the sort of diamond shell model, right? Similar to Nehru's Love, but the color on the icon is like black and burgundy, which doesn't perfectly fit Phazon suit, but it does a better job than some could. And I don't recall what Twilight Princess magic armor looks like, other than the fact that it's a full suit. Yeah, sorry, I was squinting to see if I could find where the shadow was there, because of reasons. God! Oh! That almost didn't work, and it was for the Artifact of Wild, which is nice to get now. Good to get that shit out of the way. Yeah. Although, I mean, honestly, if I can do, like, icon patches for the OOT Rando in the future, for whenever I go back to those, I guess I could definitely do some more fun stuff with that. There was a Palutena model that I was thinking about using for Adult Link, but I was not able to get it to work last time I tried it, so I ended up just sort of setting that by the wayside. I may try that again sometime, but that'll be likely to be in my own time for the time being. I'll get back to that stuff eventually. There will, at some point, be OOT Randos again on this channel. It's just that I want to vary it up a little bit, so I've got at least some cycling material. I probably would break... I mean... Not likely, but... You know, I don't want this channel to ever get stale, because it's not like I'm a speedrunner or anything, so I don't know that I could truly get away with literally playing the same game over and over again, especially not without a pre-installed dedicated audience. Like, if I already had 20, 30 people watching me who would watch me through literally just playing the same game over and over again, I don't know, maybe I would just revert to literally just being a Balatro streamer forever. But building an audience is hard as hell. Especially because I don't like to advertise myself, and of course that sort of thing is dissuaded from so much of the internet in the first place. The fact that there's like 2 Discords that I can post my stream into, and that I have my own social media feed on which I can post a stream advertisement, is like the best I can do, and probably, you know, the best I ever would do, because Yeah. Especially because what the hell would I do? Post this somewhere on a fucking Reddit? That would be really, really awful. I don't want to deal with that. Anyway. I think we're kind of at a point right now where the amount of checks that we have is not large. Because we can't go to that item over there because we don't have the grapple beam. We can't go to the sun tower because we don't have the electric beam. We don't have the wave beam. We've got this thing over here. We can't get that item over there because no grapple beam and no wave beam. We can't really do much in Magmore because we don't have the energy for Hell Run. Well, there's a grapple beam. Unfortunately, I can't finish that whole path without the thing, but I can cross the gap, I guess. Although, truth be told, I want to save before I do that because that might not be the safest thing anybody's ever done. We can't go in the shipwreck despite having the Zora tunic. Because we need the ice beam in order to get in there because the front door is ice beam locked. And we would need the wave beam to be able to traverse it anyway, so yeah, fat lot of good any of that would do me anyway. Right, I do remember that the... Oh, I went out too far, didn't I? Yeah. Oops. I remember that the Zora tunic in Twilight Princess had sort of a fish scale effect going on. But I didn't remember exactly what was the deal with the magic armor, other than that it was an actual suit in that game. Well, I guess if it's Goron tunic colored, that is, you know, that is the game telling me to go eat shit. Oh, right, we can't do this room without the various suit because our grapple breaks when we try to in high heat, doesn't it? Oh. Right, I've tried doing that like months ago, and it didn't work in a different seed. Well, it's a good thing I saved beforehand, because that's a lot of health we just spent for that. Well, we got a warp point here, yeah. Go back to the start because it's faster than taking the elevator. Do we heal for that still? We still heal for that. Yes, good. And that would have healed us too. Come to think of it. Actually, I don't care about these guys. Is there an item down here? No, there's just the other item. Hold up. Okay, yeah, the thing that's throwing me off is the ice door is just like in the middle of the zone. Oh, well, there's our ice beam. I still can't really do shit in there, though, because I need the wave beam in order to get past, like, here, I think. Still, nice to have it. We'll think about this place later. Okay, yeah, it was Zora armor in Twilight Princess. That makes sense, because it was sort of like a scale mail kind of deal. Yep, sorry about that mic bump. Maybe you wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't said anything, so oops. That could be my fault. Oh well. Yeah, I guess they kind of got to go to... They got to go back to more of the classic style Zeldas, or, well, classic style 3D Zeldas, I suppose. In short. You know, I haven't had to open any of these doors with the missile in a while. Did I roll those away somehow and I didn't notice? Or did they just get freely taken off when I picked up missiles or something? I have no idea. Oh, just an energy tank. Right, but I mean, player 4 Link as being purple in that case is more just like for being player 4 because of it being, you know, the Four Swords game. Four Swords and 7 years ago. What? Okay, I got all the hints. I'm just out here making a dumb joke. It suits the stream, really, so... You know, they have given me the tools to do visorless arbor chamber, but I don't really know how to do that. I think that's out of logic for my settings, too, so... In theory, it's probably not that worth it, but... Maybe. I mean, for this, but that's about it, really. Okay, yeah, I can see the raindrops there. So that sure made my life easier. All right, now if I recall correctly, these sort of loop in a little bit. That's not the right door. At least I don't think it is. Did I turn door randomization on? And I didn't realize? Well, I hope that was worth it, because I'm not getting out of there without having to redo this entire room. Yeah, I told you. I will have to do a recheck of that later. And for now... I will have to just keep doing this. I could have sworn I ended up deciding against that, even though I looked at it. Although it's not like I haven't screwed up and forgotten to turn things on or off, so... Oh yeah, now Beetle's down there making a bunch of noise. Oh wait, no, not Beetle, not that... Not that guy. I just meant Beetles. The only thing that I know that happened about the Nintendo Direct today was them showing off an expansion pack for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Which is kind of odd because it's a thing for like all console versions. It's not a sequel, so... They were showing it off there, I guess, to show off that they're releasing the full game on Switch 2. I guess you gotta show it somewhere. Granted, the main thing I can really think about anything to do with that series is... First of all, the cowardice with changing the player characters in original Relink. They originally were going to have Matera in there for one of the Archer characters, but they kind of were like, oh well, we keep running into the ESRB issues here because his character is too forward about certain things. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, man, just eat the M rating. I don't care if you're supposedly aiming at teenagers. I've seen some of these events. You might actually be able to do some of the parts of the game that are kind of cool then. Because those also are like the ones that end up having the best storytelling by what I'm pretty sure is coincidence. Anyway, doing this really sucks, just to underscore. But also, that since I do still follow an account for the mobile game, because I still play the mobile game, it's like the only one that I play. Because I can't really bear to play more than one for a variety of reasons. Especially because that one is so fucking grindy at times. That I saw this account discuss the nice collector's edition that they're doing for this expanded version of Relink. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, you know, that's really cool. It's a pity that their delivery in terms of any sort of goods and anything like that to outside of Japan sucks. In fact, they're really not good at doing any sort of acknowledgement of the world outside of Japan existing as like a potential base for players and consumers, etc. All that work for Missile X Pack, that was so not worth my time. But I did actually do Visorless Arbor Chamber. To which all I can say is, I don't like that. Maybe one of these days I'll properly, like, learn the whole route for that a little better. Now, where am I supposed to go with just this? Because I can't really go into Magmore and do anything useful. And I can't do much of the wrecked ship due to a lack of wave beam. Well, I'm going to go back and save, and I'm going to then probably look at my map and go, well, I'm not sure where to go at this point. Okay, yeah, because here's all of this wrecked ship stuff over here that is meaningless to me. Oh, I guess I can go into the area of Chozo Ruins that's behind some stuff, and I should be able to access that in the back of the furnace. Also, I guess if doors are randomized, or unless I'm just wrong about the door at the top of Arbor Chamber, but I'm pretty sure that's a plasma beam door. Yeah, see, it's still showing a wave door up there. But I'm gonna go and physically look at it and see if it's different or something. No, that's still wave beam. So at least the minimap is correct about that, so I can, I guess, freely assume that those are correct. Probably. Anyway, time to go this way. Or maybe I do have to do a hell run, but 5 energy tanks doesn't seem like enough to actually get me anywhere. So I would like to stop considering that possibility for a moment. And by for a moment, I mean forever. Because I think hell runs are in logic for that, so that is a little bit substandard, but hey. Okay, yeah, this way, I don't think we need any special beams to do anything here. Oh, no, we need purple beam to get in there. Fuck. Oh, I guess if we want to get into that room, which I think we can, we just need to use the ice beam. And come in from this side. Although, at bare minimum, we can get into the ice beam location here, too, so we can do some stuff in this area. Just not as much as we'd like to. Yay! We got the Goron tunic. Hell yes. Now we can actually do stuff. We can still do stuff here. Don't worry. Yeah, so far it only seems to have been that one door that was different, so I don't know what's up with that. I might have screwed something else up that I didn't realize. This and that ghost. I think the smile looks a little bit far down on the ghost, but I don't remember exactly what the model looks like, just mostly. Hey, there's the first of our two nothings. I feel like I should have those be, like... I can tell the randomizer to put more items into the pool if I want to, but... I've just stuck with them being nothing for however long. Mostly because I think it's funny to get at least one item and it's just like, hey, it's literally nothing. It was completely useless, thanks. As opposed to totally awesome, totally useless, wait. Yeah, I'd have to go reopen the game and go to that location. Which is enough work that I'll get to it and I'll just forget why I was doing it, so... that wasn't so useful, but hey. We got a thing we can actually put to use now, so... That's fine, as long as we got one important item in this area. Because otherwise we would probably be a little bit lacking in options. Oh, before we go to Magmore, we're going to go and deal with that grapple point out there. Oh yeah, this room always takes forever to load. Yes, yes, there's Chozo ghosts around, and quite a lot of them. I understand. Kind of. Let's take a look at our artifacts and see where we're... Oh yeah, that's for where the Phazon suit hint is. because that's the thing that you can put onto it, but you have to be able to scan the endpoint for impact crater for it, so a lot of good it is for us. Chosen Ruins Antechamber. I forget which room that is offhand. Cargo freight. Okay, yeah, so that's in the wrecked ship. Fendrana Canyon, that's like the beginning of Fendrana. Life Grove Tunnel. That's on the other side of the wrecked ship. Central Dynamo. Gravity Chamber. Ooh, I don't know which of those two it is because there's two items there for some reason. Processing Center access. That's behind Omega Pirate, but I think we can go there without having to fight Omega Pirate. So that's all good. That kind of looks like we don't have to fight Omega Pirate this seed. Which honestly is probably my main concern. Because if there's any boss fight that wastes more time than that, well, I don't know what it is offhand. Oh wait, not this way. What am I doing? Other than being confused, I guess. Yeah, see, I thought it looked weird, but hey. As long as you still save the files where things are in pieces, depending on how you're using layers or anything, that would probably be an easy fix. Yes, that should be fairly easy to fix at least, so... Another one of those. Our collection is coming along nicely. I guess really with the proportion of items, it is always kind of like, hey, here's a coin flip between whether or not you get a missile pack or something else. I'd love to say or progression, but that's not true. There's a couple of items in that pool that are totally useless. The ice spreader is still there, so like, yeah. Okay, now this I know is a thing that I've done visorless before, and it's significantly easier than that thing I did earlier. See, who even needs the fucking X-ray visor? Actually, now that I've said that, I'm sure that I will hit a point where it's like, okay, there's literally something here that I can't do without the X-ray visor because I'm incompetent. Like, I'll have to go through the invisible platforms and phase on mines, won't I? And those ones move, so that really is a place where you need the X-ray visor. I don't think I can do this whole run visorless, really, but on the other hand, there are a couple of things that I do know how to do visorless. Like, I can do that without visor. I can fight Thardus without the visor. It's not the most perfect display anybody's ever seen, but I can do it. I can do at least some of the thermal puzzles without visor. Not all of them, though. Oh. Might be saying, why have you not had the plasma beam on for most of the area? And that's a very good question, because even in a fire area like this, the plasma beam is still pretty good. Oh yeah, I should be able to get everything branching off of the Artifact of Warrior room then. Or Artifact of Strength, I think it is. Yeah, because Artifact of Warrior is in vanilla where you get the Phazon Elite. Well, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Nope. We open up this door and cross this way. We only need the one power bomb to do this, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I'm about to find out that I've done something stupid. But we got the glass tank earlier, which is usually what I think is the thing that I use the other power bomb for, typically. Hey, that's a very specific person in this case. Wait. This way. Go this way, and we got to be a little bit careful on this thing because, yeah, this went pretty smoothly when I was doing this in Prime Hack, if I recall correctly, but unfortunately we are lacking in that. But we get another power bomb expansion, which I don't really think I need for a bit, but hey. It's something at least. Right, this will put us to the back of Fendrana, which isn't a useless place to be fair. I don't remember if we can do anything of any real note over this way. Actually, you know what's crazy is I can do geothermal core right now. I believe, because I think that just needs that doesn't need wave beam to enter. Yeah, I don't think this is a real thing, but give it a shot anyway. I mean, at this point, we've got 100 missiles, so I can afford to spend a few of them. Our missile stocks are pretty high. Ah, shit. We do need wave beam for that. Never mind. Disregard whatever I just said. That also means that, unfortunately, we can't just, like, sort of, you know, walk around Thardus. We can't fight it right now. We can't really do anything in back of Fendrana either, but we can get a couple of items. Oh, right, this isn't back of Fendrana. I'm an idiot. This is just back upstairs to Root Cave. Duh. The elevator I'm thinking of is somewhere else. Well, that's an embarrassing thing to forget. Oh yeah, I mentioned this on Blue Sky, but the program that I use for this has a Metroid Fusion randomizer now. Excuse me. I'm kind of curious how that does compared to the standalone Fusion Rando that I used. But that might be a thing that I wait to try out until next month. Because, well, I'll just do these this month. And then we shuffle through different games as we go. I should probably put other Magic or Magic-like games on the list of things to do after I beat the run of MTG 97 I've been doing for Fridays. Well, there's our big power bomb. That's our large capacity of... I was about to say powered bombs, but that is a phrase that makes sense, actually. So that... I may have to cut that one out. That's a bit of a problem. I can't be out here making sense. That's bullshit. How dare the streamer say something that makes sense as when it's supposed to be a joke that it doesn't make sense. Well, whatever. We can get tons of stuff here in Phendrana. It just would be inadvisable to go fight the Sheegoth right now because we could get soft... Well, yeah, soft locked because we'd be able to reset, but nevertheless, we could get stuck. Because if we don't have Wave Beam when we're done there, then we can't leave the room. Yes, here we go. We got the Grinchlers again. But less worse. Although this guy is turning around real good. It's completely unnecessary for me to kill this guy, but it's just like, hey. This is for your relative Grapple Guardian being a really tedious fight. And there honestly not really being much recourse for that whatsoever from that. Wow, I think we have all the power bombs now. We're at 8, so yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's all the power bombs. Well, hey. Well, at least that's one weird drop to not troll me in the rest of the pool. Because I don't need that many now. Never did in the first place. Being completely honest with ourselves. So I just jumped straight in the hole there. Whoops. Oops. Yeah, right. The back of Fendrana elevator that I was thinking of earlier is at a location all the way in the back of Magmore Caverns. Okay, let's go get Boost Ball first. And then... I can't really do much of Pirate Base, can I? So... That was a bad jump. I was trying to skip a platform. I probably shouldn't have done that. That doesn't work out as well as it looks like it should be able to, but hey. Ah, right. There's our artifact. Well, good that we got that. Because we're going to need it eventually. Yeah, we can't even go that way, so... Oh, never mind. Now we can. That's the wave beam. That's unlocking all of Chozo Ice Temple for us. Let's go do that real quick. Yeah, I know Meta Ridley is out there somewhere, apparently. Oops. Oh, hey. Ah! I forgot there was a thing there. I also don't think I expected it to do that much knockback to me, but it is a tiny platform too, so that just it makes things even more excessive. Yeah, you don't need to show me a cutscene for that, probably. Probably. Another missile pack. Yeah, see, that thing didn't have a cutscene, which I think it usually does, so, hey. Hmm. All right. Wave beam room. Well, usually wave beam room. Yeah, that one didn't want to do this the easy way, so... Get out of here. Do I wear glasses? I do wear glasses. So, I mean... That would... Wave Buster! Yeah! Good thing we came back here, because we want that to kill the final boss with. Get up there. Okay, fine. I'll do it like this, that way I know I don't have momentum. Okay, back to this. Okay. So now we're finally en route to... I'm not going to Pirate Base yet. I'm gonna go deal with Thardus. Thardus. If I start having, like, weird talking trouble enough, it turns into Zardus. starts sounding like Zardoz, which is funny to me. I have a copy of that. I still haven't watched it yet. But I think we've established that I don't watch a lot of movies, and yet I will watch, like, absolute ridiculous shit sometimes. Oh, sure, I don't watch many movies except for things that are really weird. Ah, yes. Well, you see, that's like... That's a good one, mostly because it actually kind of works with the idea as opposed to necessarily just being the simple reversal. Because, yes, it is like, hey, you would be literally afraid of... Anyway, enough of that. We're fighting Thardus. We're doing it visorless. Because we're sick in the head or something. Also, to be honest with you, the large part of it is because I can. That's right, kids. You can do this too. You don't even have to memorize a pattern of like where to hit next. I mean, it helps you, but you don't have to. Boost ball? Boost ball's for suckers. Come on. Just have so much HP that it doesn't matter if you dodge or not. Oh yeah. This is like every 3D game seems to really love having a boss that rolls. I mean, that also would actually make sense in some of the... If there was a space pirate that did stuff like that, especially in this series, where the space pirates are just all about reverse engineering Samus's technology. Because that's how you get all the troopers, right? Is because they're all reverse engineered. Oh, we exposed that so fast. That's because I actually like got the target in one that time with the charge shot. I didn't say it's now when he has a temper tantrum. No, it's the next target. Am I hitting the right place? I think so. I'm just not seeing the blinks. There's no time sweeping happening here. Sec, I screwed something up for my end. There we go. I fixed it. See? Easy. All it took me was 2 energy tanks. And obviously I get dead dropped from my trouble. It's not a complete dead drop, honestly, but you know, it's not anything special, right? That's the big takeaway here is you won't necessarily be rewarded for doing something cool. Just get the damn visor and fight him the regular way. Oh, wow, that's a real dead drop, actually. The ice spreader, that thing is fucking useless. In fact, even the flamethrower might be better in this mode. Well, there's our other nothing. That's fun. I'm actually going to go and get the item. No, I'm not. I'm going to do this entire section now. Because we have all the equipment we need in order to do absolutely everything here. In fact, truth be told, we kind of have, like, everything. We're really only missing the 2 visors and the Phazon suit. And the artifacts, but we'll get those as we go. Praising the flamethrower. I mean, okay, you've got a point. That was a little bit out of pocket of me. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I think it's just that the ice spreader was actually that useless that I was just kind of like, yeah. What do I say at this point? It is that bad. Okay, I just want to pour over the map a little bit here. Okay, yes, this way is over to Gravity Chamber. Which is where I know there's an artifact waiting for us. Well, I mean, plus, Thunder Gel is almost a cheat code for any sort of, like, making an existing emote with, because it's a big yellow ball. So it's already almost the perfect base for a lot of them. As long as you can do it with just the eyes. Or at least with no mouth. Although, on the other hand, the idea of just having just a full series of, like, regular emoji, but they're all just the Thunder Gel. But it's not really making a real expression. Because all it has is eyes, so it can't do, like, 50% at least of most of the expressions. I would find that very funny. Although, I wouldn't necessarily consider it to be a useful thing. Alright, so the other thing is the item at the upper layer of Gravity Chamber. Which is one of those, like, really out-of-the-way items that I think a lot of people just forget about. Or perhaps don't even know about. Yeah, it's over there. In a weird position behind that rock. Wait a minute. There's a lemon behind that rock. There we go. There's our artifact of sun. Well, I guess if you're very prone to thinking things look like lemons, the sun is pretty high up there on the list, so... I love how long their explosion sequence is, the security drones, at least sometimes. And there's other times where it's quite irritating, but hey. So you're in Joseph Ruins, Shipwreck, Tunnel, Grove, Central Dynamo, Hydro Access Tunnel, Processing Center Access. So there's nothing else that we really need to do here in terms of beating the game, but we are going to look around for the other items because we're already in this area. May as well. Ah, shit. Oh, wait, no, we don't do that yet. We go this way first, and we do that at the very top of things. Okay, it seems like it's just plasma beam doors that have been replaced by missile doors. So maybe it is like a door type swap, but it's the worst, most uninteresting one you could imagine. I'll have to double check my settings. But yeah. Phazon suit. Yeah. All right. There's our magic armor, everybody. We did it. All right, now cross this way because there's an item in here. Yeah, okay, I should be the only one. So, do that. That breaks the ice. And the item is around here. Hold on. Say I'm in here pretty deep. And it's just positioned such that it's very hard to see. Okay, yeah, this... I suddenly got a little bit confused there. Wow, this is really heating up. They don't want me to get anything done here. That's for damn sure. But let's see what we can do about fixing that issue. Answer, not much. But hold on. I'm going to go in here again and let's double check our artifacts. That's Chozo, Talon. I don't think I have to do anything here, basically. Talon, Talon, Phazon, Talon, Phazon, and Talon. Yeah. So, legitimately, there's no reason for me to be here. Oh, sure, I can pick up some more health and stuff, but... in terms of progressing to the end of the game, I'm feeling like I can probably do with what I've got for now. I just won't skip things while I'm progressing through other locations. Yeah, see, this one's a little bit long of an item to get, but I'll go for it anyway. It could be useful. Not super likely, I guess, because of reasons, but hey. We do kind of still want a few more sets of missiles. But as I don't believe we need the visors, we don't have to worry about that. And energy-wise, it helps, but it's not a requirement. Especially because we've already got Phazon suit, so yeah. Like, if I get very direct about it, there's every possibility that I will not get to 200 missiles. Which is my usual, my main break point for it's like, okay, that's all the missiles I need, but also I do this to make sure that I can properly use the taser on Meta Ridley. Excuse me. And excuse the blowing into the microphone noises. I kind of wish they started with the room names in here. Okay, so I can actually do that. Is there an item at the top of this room? No. It's just a really weird and ugly path to an elevator. This room is very weird, just in general. Yeah, okay, so for some reason, my plasma beam doors have been swapped with missile doors. There's our artifact of spirit. Now, if I could just remember which room is Central Dynamo. It's not the opening room, I know that. That one's called, like, Main Quarry or something. Central Dynamo is... It's not the room with the rotating thing, which is ore processing. It's not the room with... It's not Phazon Elite room, is it? I don't think it is. Yeah, see, I'm perfectly content to stop and grab a couple of those. Just that right now, my missile packs are more valuable than energy tanks. I'll tell you that much. And you can all mock me for it later when I end up dying to large amounts of damage that I am too bad to actually dodge. I'm planning my course here. I believe this is probably the first place we should go. And of course, the Elite Pirate is best dealt with in the same way that one would deal with the Chozo Ghosts. Well, there's our thermal visor. Now that we generally don't have a whole lot of use for it, but it does help for navigating the wrecked ship. It'll make it easier, but technically I could have done that without it. I can't say that I would have liked to, but... Don't mind me, guys. Just passing through here. Yeah, this room is ore processing, so this is not the place where that one artifact is. That I'm still at a bit of a loss on. No, this isn't going to be rotated in place. What am I thinking? I guess it's a bit of an open question as to whether or not I was. Do power bombs deal with these guys? They do, right? Well, I guess if they actually are in the radius, that would probably help, but the answer seems to be no. However, I do know that super missiles will deal with them pretty well. I just don't really care to try to deal with it with a fence. Curse these guardrails. I can't believe these guys are worried about OSHA compliance. What a load of shit. Especially out of the space pirates of all fellas. Oh, Twilight Princess in general needs a lot of things. That is just one of them. Now this surely is not... No, it's Storage Depot B. That's fine. Leave that. Oh yeah, the exit would be on this. Well, the exit I'm looking for anyway would be on this level. Well, needs a lot of other things, really. The gameplay area. Oh, what? Okay, so here's something interesting. Say, what, if I jump it, maybe? No, but I can get stuck in it. I can shoot through this wall. But actually getting through it seems to be a bit of a no-go zone. So for those of you who are confused as to what's going on here, and I genuinely, I can't blame you. So there's supposed to be... When you come through here normally, there's a wall there. And it has no texture behind it because obviously you never see behind it. You're supposed to turn the mining laser over there and use it to break the wall. Now, the randomizer has an option to remove that barrier so that way you have open travel if you're doing something like what I'm doing. It didn't do it correctly. Either that or I didn't set it correctly. But what's interesting to know is that you can shoot through it, apparently. So that's some pretty fun piece of detail. What an extremely strange object. Oh well. At least we got this path. We can pop out right here. Oh. We still have to power the crane even for that control. Interesting. I probably knew that, but it comes up so rarely. That rotates the crane. Yeah, we roasted a bunch of dudes there. Security access A. So this will be like security hall or something. Security station. Arguably, I was close. Central Dynamo isn't the power bomb room, is it? Might be. It's fine if it is, though. In fact, that might even be even better. That's near a save point. So I can just freely warp back to the place I need to be. Another missile pack, and back we go. 170, in fact, may even be enough to kill Meta Ridley by itself, but I don't know that I would trust that. Yeah, this one is Elite Research, not Central Dynamo. Oh, somehow that power bomb didn't kill these guys. That's weird. And put down your reflector shield thing. Give me your item. They just walk underneath it. Eh, we'll take one of those. We don't have a lot of energy, so a little extra health is probably not a bad thing here. Oh. He got in the way of my scan, so kill him off now. Alright, do that. And yeah, vanilla, missile pack. Well, technically vanilla, it may not be literally the same one. Let's go up this way and use this as a way to get down. Because we should be able to. We just have to be careful about it. And see, right over there. Drop through, take the damage. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. I need to scan the elevator up here for some reason, but not down there. That's technology for you. Yeah. Usually that's an energy tank, so that's slightly different this time. Here's Omega Research. I think we can basically just skip this room too. Like, there's enemies that show up, but the doors don't lock, so who cares? Yeah, this is Dynamo access, so that means the next room is going to be Central Dynamo. Which means we're not spared a Morph Ball puzzle. You know, this one in particular, anyway. Get a little bit of this music going. A not small amount of me taking just sort of damage boosting through parts of this. It's not really damage boosting, I'm just sort of bouncing around like a fool. But like I said already, there's a save point over here for us to take and go backwards. And now the last few artifacts are all in Talon and Chozo, as far as I can remember. Oh. Wow, Round the Wheel sending me a host. Thank you very much, dude. How was the rest of that Mega Man 1 hack? I hope it held up through the rest of the playthrough. I'm scanning through here to see if I know where that other item is. Off the top of my head, I do not. I think it's probably on the other side of Wrecked Ship, because it usually is. That's usually where I gotta go. And also, I hope you're having a pretty good evening overall. We are... let me take a look here. We're missing 6 artifacts? Ooh. We are significantly more done than that looks like, though. I can tell you that much. Because we got, like, all of the gear at this point. And most of the remaining artifacts are in fairly centralized locations. I just really suck at this grapple jump. Rather play it than regular Mega Man 1. Well, I don't know that that's a high bar, but... Good to hear. Shame about the amount of BS in Wily's Castle. But yeah, what I managed to catch, which was Bomb Man stage, which you said was probably truncated. I'm not completely sure. Gutsman stage, which basically everything after the railings was completely redone. And I saw the beginning of Cutman stage, just enough to see the redone style, where it kind of looked like a bit of a lumber camp, which I think that's cool that they did something like that, because otherwise, like, what does Cutman stage in vanilla Mega Man 1 really have to do with, And then you played through Mega Man 3? Nice. The last time I played Mega Man 3, I realized that it had been so long that I no longer had any of my skills in it. And I was playing it on my NES, and apparently my NES is a little bit fucked up, so I gotta look into that at some point. But hey, at least there's always emulators for stuff like that, because practically anything can emulate the NES at this point. Okay, I think we just need to go to the exit now, and the other electrical tap is right over there, the other conduit. Oh, we skipped over it. Whoops. Yeah, there it is. I wish I could remember where all the things are in some of these larger rooms, because they can be quite hard to see without thermal visor, even when the room isn't that dark. But if I knew how to do like every part of this game without thermal visor, or... well, I'd say or without X-ray visor, but there's definitely some parts where you really want X-ray visor. Oh, right. The other conduit is down here. That's right. There's 3 of them in this room. One is... that's not a grating. They're sort of behind grates, as a rule. So I think it's actually on the outside of this. Yeah. Right. I just remember that it was the elevator car. And... yes. It is here, right? Oh, no, it's slightly outside of it. I'm dumb. Other side, maybe? It is here, right? Yeah, there it is. Wow. Way to go, me. Getting fooled by a game I've played this many times. Not exactly what you would consider to be an enviable position. I was gonna say, yeah, we got the one underwater security drone in the entire game here. Oh, there's two here. Well, I'll deal with that guy in a second. This storage locker? Next one over. Whoops. Well, come on. And yes, our fire weapon still works perfectly fine underwater. Probably because since it's plasma, it's mostly just like extreme heat, really. The water's not going to do much to stop that. Yeah, more of these guys. Really, at this point, I don't need to, like, eliminate any of these. I can just shoot them. It's fine. Just shoot them, Fox. Oh, right. There we go. There's the other wrecked ship artifact. And now there's probably 3 on the backside of the wrecked ship here. Assuming that I did my math correctly here. And then for the last one, we need to go back to Chozo Ruins, which is not really that hard. Right, this is Great Tree Hall, so... I think Overgrown Cave is the place across from there. You need the X-ray scope to be able to see the way over there, but of course we can get there without it. I just have to remember where the place we gotta jump is, because I really don't. Oh, no, this gate is already open. That's good. Yeah, see, this one's working. That one spot in Phazon... I almost said Phazon Ruins. In Phazon Mines, not so much, though. Okay. Alright. Readjust ourselves. And yeah, we want to cross about here. It's just that I have to actually pin down where the platform is. That. There we go. That wasn't so hard. It did also help that I was able to see where the raindrops were falling at the end there. No, this is Great Tree Chamber. What the hell is Overgrown Cave, then? In fact, how many more locations are there at this point? Go to. Got... and that have items. So there's 3 items over there. Okay, it's... I know where it is. It's in an elevator shaft, basically. Oops. I really flung myself a little too hard there. That was way overdoing it. It's because that very specific thing always kind of makes me a little bit nerve-wracked that I'll be off in terms of positioning. And that time I was, but for, you know, different reasons, due really entirely to my own stupidity there. Artifact of Warrior. And now... it's the other item in this room. Because, of course, you power bomb it, and suddenly you find out, holy crap, this is a big room. Now let's get our placement here, because this one's actually... this is giving me some trouble. This is weird. I don't remember this ever being a bad jump. There we go. And then I had a little too much forward momentum there and slipped right off the edge. Classic 3D platformer foibles. as we get ourselves the artifact of Chozo. Only 2 more to go, everybody. The odds of us finishing this in below 3 hours, in terms of stream time, not in terms of, well, I guess in terms of VOD time would be a better way to put it, because, yeah. Parentheses, VOD time as released on YouTube, as opposed to what you get to see on stream. Boy, I'm really having a bit of a thing today of just, like, doing my jumps too fast, aren't I? That was kind of an issue I was having yesterday with Banjo-Kazooie as well. But yeah. So we're not going to get, like, sub 3 hour in VOD time parentheses recorded version. But it will be sub 3 hour in the in-game clock. So I'd say at least there's that, but the in-game clock I think just kind of runs a little bit slow. Oh, right. I was trying to skip ahead. That's my problem. That's not supposed to be a jump you can make. Okay, yeah, next platform over. That summons the ghosts. And of course, we deal with the ghosts the way you deal with ghosts in real life. High-yield explosives. This makes total sense. And it makes sense. I swear. But not necessarily for that reason. Let's go over here and... Where are you? I was gonna say, bro is just like out in somewhere really stupid, just making noises. Which, you know, classic ghost behavior, I guess. Just hanging out in a place and making a noise. Oh, yeah. It's not a regular door. Okay, it's this elevator, I believe, right? Yes. Which takes us to Chozo Ruins. Yeah. This is one of 2 elevators to Reflecting Pool, and then... go to the other one briefly in order to be able to pick up the thing at... Overgrown Cave, I think it's called. I'm assuming that that's the correct location. Because there's, like, no other items in Talon Overworld. Yeah, but all the elevator info wants to tell us is that that's the location of wrecked ship. Yeah. Told you. Now, ultimately, there isn't really a fast path to where I'm going here, but this is a direction. You know what? Let's take like 30 seconds to go find out what this item is, just out of curiosity. Oh, this is actually where it is. I thought it was elsewhere. I thought it was back at the sun location, the sun tower. But that was the one named antechamber. Okay, good to know. So now we just warp back to the ship. Oh, that was a good use of a few seconds. Then we save. And with all that done, I'm sorry, I just need to have a little bit of direction finding here to remember which of these doors is the right one. Let's go ahead and let's go fight Meta Ridley. And round this seed off already. Because, wow, it's actually been quite fast. And if I had just performed a little better in a few areas, this would be over before 10. But all considered, I'm still pretty pleased with what I've gotten to at this point. Hey, come on. I know you've got to load a lot of room here, but yeesh. Go in the middle a little bit better. There we go. I don't know if this is burning him as fast as I'd like it to. Oh, I'd love it if you didn't just stand there idling for however long, Ridley. You're making me a little nervous. Yeah, and this is why I prefer to go with getting at least 200, because The exact time, the exact amount of missiles there, pardon me, that takes is a little bit weird. So now we got to fight him regular for at least a minute here. And by at least a minute, I mean at least significantly less than a minute. Holy God. The sheer amount of things that you can do to just speed up and automate that fight makes me quite happy. That guy kind of sucks. Anyway. That's it, folks. We did it. And yeah, just over the 3-hour mark on the recording. Of course. Oh well, that's fine. It's not like I'm actually speedrunning this anyway, so... And if I was, I'd have to do a hell of a lot better than that. Let's find out where the X-ray visor was. Tower chamber. Okay, that would be off of the tall tower, I think. So... Yes. Is there anything else we missed? Well, tell me where the basic missile launcher... Shrine. Well, I think we actually got the one that was the base missile launcher then. Anyway. All good, and we did it in about 3 hours. Let's see what the in-game clock says, and we can see how far off this is. Two hours 45. I got about 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 15 seconds right now. So, yeah, I'm not sure why the in-game clock counts just a little bit slow like that, but it sure does. Or maybe my computer counts fast, I don't know. Also, I love that it says 1% complete. Oh, man, the completion percentages for this are just all kinds of fucked. I don't know what the deal is with that, like... I don't know, I assume the randomizer probably makes it a little bit confused, but, I mean, you can tell we definitely had more than 1% of the items. We just had, like, no scans, because why do you need to scan almost anything in this, Rando?